Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet and welcome to the Called to Create podcast. I am here to help you ladies unlock your creative potential and use your God-given gifts and start a business. Because you were called to create and you have so much to share, and the world needs your creative gifts to be shared right now, ladies. Let's do this. And I want to remind you that I have a special offer where you can sign up for a 45-minute coaching session with me to help you get started with your very own creative business. Or if there's something else that you need help with, I can do that too. And it's a special price of $47 from now until November 16th, 2020. So if you're ready and you want me to help you start, you can send me an email at aloha@janetjohnston.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I come to you today and talk about some of the things that have worked for me in life and in business and things like that. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was exercise. Now, that's not really a favorite subject, but that's something that I've done all my life. Now, as I get older, I tend to not like it a little bit more. The previous, I think, to 10 years ago, I didn't mind it and I exercised and did all that kind of stuff, and back then we did I would exercise to VHS tapes of people doing exercise or yoga, or it was really different back then. Now we don't need any of that. We can just go online if we need to find someone to follow along if we wanted to exercise. But what I wanted to talk about was how important exercise is, even if you don't like it. And what I found is that I tend to be sitting a lot more on the computer and stuff all day. So as I get older, I realize my body's just not the same, especially because I sit more and I don't exercise and move as much as I used to. But what I want to share is that what worked for me in the last 10 years was having somebody to go and exercise with. So we used to try and go walking 3 times a week, and we try to go early in the morning, right when the sun got up or right before the sun rose. And that's what I found is what helped me, because if I had my way, I would sleep until 8-9 o'clock in the morning versus having to get up at 6 o'clock and get dressed and jump in my car and go meet my walking buddy. And I love sleeping, so that was really hard for me to get up that early, and I knew that. And so by having a walking buddy, that really helped me a lot to be able to get out and go and do the exercise that I needed. And previous to that, I would either go to back then they had the spa. It was called the spa, which wasn't a beauty spa. It was an exercise gym, a 24-hour fitness or whatever. They don't have it anymore, but I used to go to that, and then I used to exercise at home as well. For some reason, I seemed to be a little bit more motivated back then. But in the last 10 years, as I get older, I found that I was less interested in doing all of that rigorous type of exercise, which is good. We need that type of exercise. But because I struggled with it, I have my walking buddy who approached me 10 years ago and said, "Hey, you want to go walking?" And I thought, oh, this is perfect. I have somebody that I can walk with, so that it's not like I can sleep in, because I know somebody is waiting for me. It's like an accountability partner, right? She's there, she's waiting, and we would go and we would actually walk for 50 minutes, 50. And so we have a lot of people teasing us about that's really not exercise. And I used to kind of laugh too, and we would joke about it when we were walking. But when I talked to my doctor about it, and I told her that I'm not really doing much exercise, but I'm walking, and she's like, no, that is that is really good that you're getting out there in the fresh air and getting all your internal organs, getting the oxygen going and flowing and the blood flowing and so she was like, keep that up, that's a really good thing that you're doing. And I thought, hey, okay, I feel good about myself now because I thought it really didn't matter much that I was only walking at a steady pace. We weren't walking like super fast or, anything like that. It was just a steady pace for 50 minutes. And so when she told me that, I thought, okay, good. I feel so much better now. So when other people tease me about that walking is not really exercise, I just laugh because, my doctor said otherwise, and I've had other health practitioners tell me that it's good too. If you ever have anyone telling you that walking is not exercise, you just laugh and tell them thank you so much because it is. It does really get the blood flowing and it gets all that the energy and your organs working and it's good for your health. So that's what I want to tell you today is that do some kind of exercise. Like, don't put it off until, you start feeling more aches and pains or you start feeling sick, or worse, your doctor tells you that you have some sort of health condition. You don't want to wait until that time comes around and, where it's really severe. Start now, start where you are and do something. You may think that spending 15 minutes of doing something is not worth anything, but I can tell you it is. And the best thing that I can say is if you're struggling with getting started, find someone close to you that you live by, or, maybe even a family member who's willing to work out with you or go walking around the block. I know in some parts of the world where the weather is really bad, you can't really go outside and walk, or if it's snowing, it doesn't snow here in Hawaii, but I know some parts of the world you can't just go outside because of severe weather. So find something that you can do inside, in that case, in the house. Even if you have stairs, walking up and down the stairs is like, get your heart going a lot, and it really works your muscles. Find someone who that can help you along and who would be interested in working out with you, or something like that. There has to be somebody in your life or in your neighborhood that who'd be willing to work with you. I mean, in the world there's over 6 or 7 billion people, right? So you should be able to find somebody that lives close to you that would want to work out with you, or it doesn't have to be strenuous, right? Even just like the walking like I've done is really helpful. But go and find somebody if you're struggling, because that's what really helped me, is to have a walking buddy. And like, I view her as like an accountability buddy, right? If I don't show up, then she's going to be texting me like, hey, where are you? Like, what's going on? So do that for yourself, because you have worth and you need to take care of your physical body. You have an amazing body that God has given you, and take care of it before you get to a place where something severe happens. We need to really value ourselves. Take the time to exercise, and if you have any questions, you can let me know. And I know exercise is worth it, even if at the moment you don't feel like it or you're not in the mood. Because I have a lot of those thoughts and moments, like I'm not in the mood. I just don't feel like it. I'm tired, which when you're feeling tired, that's when you should be exercising, because that's when your body needs that energy, because the energy in your body gets stagnant. And so when you're feeling that fatigue, that's the moment that you should get up and do something and stretch. Like, I always talk about stretching. You need to stretch first thing in the morning, because when you're laying down for so many hours in bed, your muscles get tight and everything seems to just get stagnant. First thing to do in the morning is just take 5 minutes if you feel like you don't have time, and just stretch out. bend down and touch your toes. Well, I can't even reach my toes, so I shouldn't recommend something that I can't do. But I do try and reach my toes. Find whatever way you can stretch out and loosen up your body and get that blood flowing, and do that for yourself, because if you get sick and you can't take care of yourself because you're sick, there's no way that you'll be able to ever take care of your loved ones. It starts with you. So start some sort of exercise routine if you're not already doing it. I just wanted to share that with you today because I know how important exercise is. Even though it's not my favorite thing to do, I still do it. I know it'll benefit me in the long run, because as I get older, I start to feel more aches and pains. Like, I'm already in my 50s, so as you get older, right, the body starts creaking and it starts making strange sounds, and you start feeling, or I started feeling more aches and pains, and I know I have to do a little bit more now. But I wanted to share that with you because this is so important. I think about it all the time. Like, what are some of the things that I can share with those that are interested in the things that I have to say? And exercise is one of them. And I hope you try this today. If you have success in your exercise, please share it with me. Take the time to value yourself and take care of yourself. And exercise, I think, should be the first thing that you should do to start taking care of yourself in that way. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it. Or if you know anyone that wants to start a creative business, please send this podcast their way. I would really appreciate that. And I want to invite you to come over and join my Call to Create podcast community in Facebook. And that's where you can connect with other listeners of the show, and I can answer your questions. You can, it's going to be a place for you where you can learn and grow and work together with other wonderful women. And I really want you to be there. Okay, I'm looking forward to meeting you. So go over to bit.ly/call to create podcast. I'm so looking forward to it. And I want to ask you a favor. If you can please take a minute to rate and review this podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast in the Apple Podcast app, you can rate and review this show right there at the bottom. So as soon as you open my show, you can just scroll down all the way to the bottom and you can rate and review it right there, because reviews are so important and they tell potential listeners and Apple that this show is worth listening to. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And have a great day, ladies. Take care of yourself. Aloha.